Hello students, today we will start next chapter viscosity, in which today we will only see its introduction. What is viscosity? Viscosity it is related to the fluids, that is liquids and gases. Okay, so it is mainly related to their flow, that is flow of liquids and gases. Now, what is viscosity? Viscosity is a internal frictional force. Okay, internal frictional force between the fluids or between the layers of fluids. So this is viscosity. We know flow of fluids let's take a example that is aeroplane. Okay, that flow of air on the wings of a aeroplane. Okay, next is submarine. We can take a water flowing around the submarine. So viscosity becomes more important in these type of concepts. Okay, like flow of air and flow of liquids. Okay, for example, we can take another one like flow of a river. Okay, and also the most important, lubricants. That means the fluids which we take as lubricants to reduce the wear of mechanical parts or motor engine parts. Okay, so viscosity is important. Now, how do we define viscosity? Viscosity it is an internal frictional force. Okay, that means higher the resistance. Okay, what viscosity is doing? It is opposing to the flow. That means as it is higher, the flow will be lower. That means it is opposing more. More the slow the flow, greater the viscosity. Fastest the flow, less the viscosity. Okay, so this is resistive force. It is property of material, of fluids. Okay, now for example, greater velocity, viscosity. We can take example like honey. That is, it will not flow easily. Honey or motor oil, we can say, or engine oil. Okay, so these are very high viscosity fluids. Okay, or low viscosity fluids like water. That means it has low viscosity, it has low resistance, it will flow easily. Or petrol, diesel, like this. That means lowest the viscosity, it will flow easily. That is low resistance to a flow of a fluid. Now, here we have two main types of a flow. That is streamline flow and turbulent flow. So what is streamline flow? Best example for this streamline flow is a river. Okay, river in a some months of a summer. Let's take example. This is the flow of a fluid. Okay, or let's say water. Then here we can say at each and every point the flow is uniform or it is constant in velocity and constant in direction over time. That means after some time you come here at this point, you will find out the velocity same as you was that velocity was at before 5 minutes. Okay, so this is a streamline flow. Another example, this is an ideal example. Okay, now we can take another example of a streamline flow like this. This is also a streamline. Okay, what is happening here? We will take motion of one particle like this. Okay, at point A and at point, let's take here point B. So what is happening? At this point, the velocity and direction of each and every point passing through this point is same. That means at this point, all these particles from behind the backside particles have the same velocity when passing this point. Okay, in direction and velocity they are same. That means we can show the direction as like this. That means at this point, each and every particle over time passing this point is same. That is velocity and direction is same over time. Now consider this point. Here what is happening? The direction is changed, but the direction is changed. Maybe the velocity is changed, but each and every point passing through this point each and every particle passing through this point over time, that means after some time it will have the same velocity and the same direction. It may be different from this point's velocity and direction, but it is same over time. So over time is the main concept in a streamlined flow. Now what is happening in turbulent flow? You can give example turbulent flow like this, okay. What is happening? Turbulent flow, this line is not straight, okay, it is moving like this. So this is turbulence. Best example, river in a rainy season, that means there may be whirlpools, there is some eddy currents, so that disturbance is a turbulent flow. Is easy example. Both examples are easy. Streamline flow, river in a summer months, and turbulent flow, river in a rainy season. Okay. So this is streamline flow. Each and every point, at any point, the velocity and direction of each and every particle passing through this point is the same. And in turbulent flow, it is not. Now, what happens with the velocity of an overall streamline flow? If you consider streamline flow, its velocity is low compared to the turbulent flow, and it has a limit called critical velocity. This is a point between, we can say limit of velocity between streamline flow and turbulent flow. Before this limit, we have a streamline flow. After this limit, it is a turbulent flow. That means before this point, it is streamline flow. It is in a arranged manner or uniform manner. And then, if it increases its velocity, that means it has a higher energy, and hence it will create a turbulent flow. It will dissipate that energy to disturb the original flow. Okay. So this is good. This is difference between streamline flow and turbulent flow. This limit is a difference. So above this we have a streamline, or below this critical velocity we have a streamline flow, and if we exceed this critical velocity limit, then we get a turbulent flow. Now we will take streamline flow to study. We don't study turbulent flow, okay, because it is irregular. Let's take streamline. Okay, so I will take it here. This is the surface on which the fluid is flowing. Okay, now here is a layer of the liquid. Okay, you can say the utmost, or the layer which is closest or to the surface. Then here is another one, like this. So these are equidistant layers. Okay. Now what is happening? The layer in contact with the surface is practically it is at a zero velocity. Okay, it is at a zero velocity. Then this layer, let's take for example this layer. Okay, has a velocity v. Then below this layer it has a lowest velocity. Okay, due to the drag by this layer. Okay, so it has some velocity, and this layer is at higher velocity, and this is the topmost layer has a very high velocity as compared to the bottom layer. Now, as we go up, the velocity is increasing because consider this layer. This layer is getting dragged by the layer below it because viscous force between them, and this layer is accelerating this layer. Okay, because it is at higher velocity, it is accelerating it, and it is at lower velocity, it is decelerating it, we can say, or it is reducing its speed. Okay, so this layer travels with the velocity v. Now, let's take distance between them z, dz. Okay, the distance between them dz. Now, According to Newton, the viscous force between two layers, capital F, is directly proportional to the area between these two adjacent layers. That means whatever the area in contact between them is an area which is directly proportional. The viscous force is directly proportional to that area. Now, next point. This is also directly proportional to the relative velocity or difference in velocity between these two adjacent layers. That means dv. We can see here relative velocity or difference between the velocity is dv. So it is directly proportional to dv, and also it is inversely proportional to the distance between them. That means dz. So from this we can create equation. Okay, so F is, here comes the viscosity coefficient of viscosity eta, Greek letter eta. So it is directly proportional to A, and V, that is change in velocity or relative velocity. Now inversely proportional to the distance between them. So this is our formula. Now this quantity is showing change in velocity with respect to distance. Here change in velocity with respect to distance, that means this distance, change in velocity with respect to this distance, that means it is velocity gradient. Okay, velocity gradient. Now if you consider velocity gradient's value dv by dz as 1, area also 1, then after modifying this formula, the coefficient of viscosity is F by this quantity, the whole quantity, A dv by dz. Now we have put the value, we have got the values. Dv by dz is 1, A is 1, that is velocity gradient, and area in contact is 1, 1. So the viscous force is N is equal to F. We can define it as it is a force between, the coefficient of viscosity, we can define it as it is a force, we can write it like this, 1.1, okay. It is a viscous force per unit area, per unit velocity gradient. So this is definition of viscous coefficient of viscosity. It is a viscous force or drag force or resistance. It is a force between these two adjacent layers, where per unit area, per unit velocity gradient. So this is coefficient of viscosity having the units CGS unit, dyne second per centimeter square. We call it as a Poise. You will see it in a practical. Okay, in practicals you will see this unit, and in SI unit we call it the unit of coefficient of viscosity is Newton second per meter square. So this is all about coefficient of viscosity eta. Thank you.